Hello everyone. First of all, I'd like to say, wow, I've gotten a lot of feedback on the different backgrounds that I used in my last video. Flaziola recommended that I just simplify things and do all of my vlogs from my car. And Caitlin with the K was just disappointed that three-way vlog didn't mean what she thought it was gonna mean. Sorry Caitlin, I guess my mind just doesn't work that way. I have not made my final decision yet, although at the moment the prevailing opinion seems to be that Vlogging Space number 1 is the best, but it is not too late to make your opinion known, so go watch that video. I'll probably do an annotation type thing somewhere around here. Comment and leave your opinion if you have not already. The fact that I'm using the bookshelf background right now does not mean that that's the decision I've made, it means that I'm doing a book review. There's a Boy in the Girl's Bathroom by Louis Sachar. I think I first read this book when I was in the 4th or the 5th grade. I don't remember exactly when, but it was sometime in that boundary between elementary and middle school. And obviously I remember liking it, I remember considering it a favorite, but I didn't really realize until I reread it, either because I had forgotten or because at 4th or 5th grade I did not have the maturity to understand, but I did not realize just what a profound book this is. This book surprised me. I honestly wasn't sure what I was going to think of it after the reread. I figured it would probably still be a favorite, but it would, be one of those favorites that I probably wouldn't reread very often. But as those of you who have watched yesterday's Vlog Driver episode already know, this book has actually made it onto my list of top 5 favorites. Up there with the likes of The Book Thief and Paper Towns and The Time Traveler's Wife and the Bermuda Triangle. So this book follows the story of Bradley Chalkers. Bradley Chalkers is the bad kid. He sits in the last seat, last row of class, he scribbles while the teacher is talking, he cuts his test up into little squares, he gets great pride in the fact that he doesn't even try and that he seems to fail everything. He doesn't like anybody and nobody likes him, and that's the way that he seemingly prefers it. And you've known kids in your classes. From elementary school, I'm sure you remember the kid that sat in the back and that didn't do anything and that dragged the rest of the class down. You remember that kid. Now this book also follows Jeff Fishkin, who is the new kid in class, and who for a short time becomes Bradley's best and only friend, for reasons passing the understanding of both of them. Both of these two boys are scheduled to see the new school counselor, Carla Davis. Bradley, because of his behavioral problems, and Jeff because he's the new kid and they feel that he should see a counselor to help him adjust to his new environment. For the number of times that I was a new kid in school, I never had that. I don't know. And Carla is the exact opposite of every teacher that they've ever had. She's young, she's pretty, she just wants to talk to the kids, there are no rules in her room. The kids that she has can tell her anything, and she promises them that it will be kept in the strictest confidence. Now this story is really about all three of them, Carla, Bradley, and Jeff, but for this review I'm going to focus on Bradley's storyline because that's the really profound and important one. This book represents character development in the best way possible. Bradley starts out as the bad kid, the kid with serious behavioral problems. One of the things about Bradley is that he is basically a chronic liar. Whenever he's thrown in, 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 he's thrown in. One of the lines that he repeats over and over again in this book is, "Call so-and-so if you don't believe me." Despite the fact that he probably knows somewhere inside that if they call this person, then they're going to say, no, that's not true. At some level, Bradley believes that if they call this person, then that person will somehow make everything okay. And so it's not so much that he lies, it's that he makes himself believe an alternate version of the truth. One of the other things about Bradley is that he has this collection of animals, like animal figurines. And anytime he is home from school and in his room, he plays with them. He acts out situations and he does all the voices, and they are his friends. And it's kind of the same way where Wally, in My Life as a Smashed Burrito with Extra Hot Sauce, Wally was writing a story in order to kind of sort out what was going on in his life. This is Bradley's way of sorting out what's going on in his life. And so he develops this very close personal relationship with the counselor, with Carla. Carla represents to him a combination of a mentor and a friend that he's never had before, and so he kind of clings to her. And so then there's a point in the story where he feels like Carla has completely betrayed him, that she lied to him the whole time, and suddenly he hates her. And when that happens, the animal figurine that has been representing Carla throughout the story dies. Carla is unusual because Carla is the first person who actually seems to like Bradley. She doesn't punish him for his outrageous lies. She actually sits and listens to him and nods her head and seems to believe everything that he's telling her. And this is a situation that Bradley's never had to deal with before. Having somebody in a teacher position, somebody who's not related to him, an adult who's not related to him, actually seem to like him. At this point in the story, this is basically a love story between Bradley and Carla. It's love in its purest sense. Bradley loves Carla as he has never loved anyone else in his life, and he feels compelled to be good for her sake. For Bradley, it is harder for him to try to be good, to do the things that he knows that he should do. There are a number of instances where he comes close. When he first makes friends with Jeff, Jeff offers to help him with his homework. But then that falls through, and Bradley's emotion is relief. At one point, he actually does his homework. He goes to turn it in, but then he chickens out at the last moment, he tears it up, he throws it away, and he feels better. He feels relieved. Being bad is his default position. It's what he falls back on. Carla sees good in Bradley where no other teacher ever has. And she is able to use that and use her relationship with Bradley to make him change into a better person. And eventually he crosses to the point where he's trying to be good for his own sake, not just for hers. And so by the end of the story, Bradley is a far better person than he was at the beginning. And so this book shows great character development. It's a beautiful love story, again, in its purest sense. And it tells us of the value of good education and teachers who actually care about their students and who try to see the good in their students and try to help them to become better people. So I probably went on for a very long time about that one, but I really, really love this book. As I said, it's on the top 5 of my favorites list now. But I think everybody, especially people who are planning on a career in education, should read this book. And the next book on the favorites list is going to be The Key to the Golden Firebird by Maureen Johnson. See you next time.